What would you do if a quiet cleaning lady stood face to face with power, risking everything to protect a millionaire's fragile daughter from danger inside her own home? In this story, loyalty is tested, lies are exposed, and the true meaning of family shines brighter than wealth. If you are new to the channel, then please subscribe to the channel and like the video, and tell us in the comments where are you watching from. Now, let's jump into the story. Nadine lifts her chin. "You are out of line," she says. "This is discipline." The voiceover explains, Camila does not raise her voice. She does not insult. She does not argue for pride. She argues for safety. "This is not how we help a child," Camila answers, calm and firm. She needs patience. She needs dignity. Mia presses her face to the fabric of Camila's apron. The teddy slips a little, then stays tucked between them like a small guard. The mansion seems to hold its breath. Footsteps approach. Adrian Hale, the millionaire father, stands at the doorway. He wears a suit and a look of concern. He is a man who carries work on his shoulders and grief inside his chest. The voiceover makes it clear. He loves his daughter, but the world has been heavy, and sometimes heavy worlds make slow hearts. "What is going on?" he asks. Nadine speaks first, quick and smooth. "This maid burst in and upset Mia. I was settling her down." Camila keeps her voice even. "Sir, I heard raised words. I came because Mia was afraid. I stood here to protect her." Adrian looks from one face to the other. The voiceover notes how his eyes pause on Mia, who is still pressed against Camila, like a bird under shelter. There is a small tremble in the child's mouth. She does not speak, but her silence speaks enough. Adrian draws a slow breath. "Enough," he says. "No more scenes." He rubs his temples. Then, to Camila he adds, "Take Mia to the garden. Let her breathe." Camila nods. She bends to Mia's level. "Let's find fresh air, little one," she whispers. She takes the child's hand, the teddy tucked between their fingers, and they move past Nadine. The stepmother's eyes are cool, but Camila does not look back. The voiceover guides us to the garden. Light rests on leaves. A fountain makes a soft sound, like silver coins falling into water. On a stone bench, Camila and Mia sit side by side. There is no rush. There is only breathing. There is only the sound of the water and the hush of wind. "You are safe," Camila says. "Your feelings matter." Mia nods, and the nod is small but honest. She wipes her cheeks with the corner of the apron. The teddy watches, like a quiet friend. "Why is she unkind?" Mia asks at last. Camila chooses simple words, because this is a story about clear truth. "Some people feel empty inside," she says. "When people feel empty, they sometimes push others. It is not your fault." The voiceover underlines the theme. This is an inspiring real-life story about courage, kindness, and a child's gentle heart. It is a heartwarming story about protection. It asks what makes a family, and who stands up when it is hard. High heels click on the stone path. Nadine appears at the garden steps, arms crossed. "Touching," she says. The maid plays the expert. Camila rises, still calm. "I am doing my job," she replies, "keeping the home clean and the child safe." "Your job is floors and glass," Nadine says, "not opinions." "Safety is everyone's job," Camila answers. The voiceover notes the small details that build trust. Camila keeps her tone steady. She does not argue to win. She speaks so the child can learn that protection can be gentle and firm at once. From the balcony above, Adrian watches. He says nothing. He studies what words cannot hide. A child who relaxes near one person and shrinks near another. Sometimes the truth does not come in speeches. Sometimes it comes in how a small hand holds on. Nadine turns away with a tight smile. "Remember your place," she says, and leaves. Camila sits again. She pulls a small notebook from her pocket, the kind she uses to list tasks and groceries. She draws a circle and then a small house with a triangle roof, slow and clear. "Do you want to draw with me?" she asks. Mia nods. The first line she makes trembles a little, then straightens. The voiceover explains that simple drawings and simple words can rebuild calm. Pancakes later, maybe. A story later, maybe. For now, a line on a page that says, "I am here, I am real, I can make a mark." As the sun warms the bench, the camera of the mind moves back to the open bedroom upstairs. A door left ajar, a room left neat, a question left hanging in the air. The mansion is grand, but its echoes are not from marble or glass. They come from choices, from voices, from the soft promise Camila makes without fanfare. She will not look away. The voiceover closes part 1 with clear intent and SEO-friendly clarity. This inspiring real-life story shows a courageous maid, a special child, a millionaire father, and a house learning how to heal. It is a heartwarming story of protection, family, and quiet bravery. The echo of that first line remains. Stop. Don't touch her. And in that echo, a new beginning starts. The morning sun rises over the Hale mansion, and the kitchen fills with the smell of butter and flour. This is not the work of the professional cook today, but the quiet effort of Camila Rios, the cleaning lady whose heart carries patience and warmth. The voiceover begins with calm strength, painting the scene clearly for the listener. Camila is making pancakes, round and golden. Because a promise had been made the night before to little Mia Hale, the daughter who still carries fear in her small chest. Promises, no matter how tiny, must be kept. On a chair by the counter, Mia sits with her teddy and a pencil. She leans over a sheet of paper and begins to draw. Her lines wobble, then straighten. A circle becomes a face. A triangle becomes a dress. Camila flips a pancake and glances over, her smile soft. "That looks like someone I know," she says. The voiceover underlines this moment. Trust is not built with speeches. Trust is built with pancakes, pencils, and tiny promises. Each line and each bite of breakfast lays another stone in the bridge between child and caretaker. Suddenly, heels click against the tile. Nadine Cross, the stepmother, enters the kitchen with her arms folded. Her voice cuts the soft air. "What is this? The maid cooking in my kitchen?" she says. The tone is sharp, but Camila does not bend. She answers gently. "Mia asked for pancakes. I wanted to make her morning bright." Nadine gives a cold smile. Spoiling her will not teach her discipline. Camila calmly places a pancake on Mia's plate. "Love is not spoiling, it is nourishment," she replies. The cook Blanca, standing near the sink, lowers her head to hide a small smile. She has seen many faces pass through this mansion, but few who speak so gently with such courage. The voiceover makes clear that Camila's strength is quiet, but it is strength all the same. After breakfast, Camila leads Mia to the study room. Pencils, papers, and colors are spread across a low table. Mia hesitates, afraid her drawings are not good enough. Camila sits beside her and begins to sketch too. "Look," she says, drawing a crooked sun. Even mine leans a little, but that does not make it less bright. Mia giggles. She draws another circle, this time steadier. "It is better when we draw together," she says. The voiceover lingers on this moment. The story. "What happened?" he demands. Nadine points quickly. "The maid was careless. She broke it." Camila looks at the floor. She sees the dust patterns, the clear space where the vase had stood, and footprints leading away. Her voice is steady. "I did not touch it, sir. It was placed to fall." Adrian frowns. He glances at Nadine, then at Camila. Suspicion stirs, but no decision is made. The truth waits in silence. That evening, in Mia's room, Camila tells a story while tucking her in. The story is about a bird that guarded its nest against storms. "How did it stay safe?" Mia asks. Camila answers, "By staying true to its promise. No storm can break a promise kept." Mia hugs her teddy tighter. You keep promises too, she says. Camila nods. Always. The voiceover highlights the theme. Every scene builds a foundation. Pancakes symbolize warmth. Pencils symbolize creativity. Promises symbolize trust. Through these, a bond grows stronger, despite the storms created by suspicion and jealousy. Outside the room, Adrian pauses in the hallway. He hears the soft story through the door. He does not enter, but he listens. Something in him stirs. For years, he has been weighed down by wealth, duty, and grief. But here, in the gentle rhythm of a Maid's story, he senses a different kind of strength. Not the strength of money, but the strength of love. It unsettles him, but it also gives him hope. In the kitchen again, Camila washes the pancake pan. She hums softly, not a tune for music, but the quiet sound of peace after keeping her word. The house feels less heavy for a moment. The child sleeps, the father thinks, the stepmother plots, and the maid prepares for another day. Promises kept today will guide tomorrow. The voiceover closes part 2 with clear SEO-rich narration. This inspiring real-life story shows how kindness, patience, and honesty create change. It is a heartwarming story of a millionaire father, his special daughter, a jealous stepmother, and a maid who becomes a source of courage. Through pancakes, pencils, and tiny promises, hope takes root in the halls of a house that once echoed with fear. The journey continues, and with it, the quiet power of love that refuses to break. The morning is fresh and the sky is wide when Adrian Hale decides to take his daughter Mia to the park. He does not go alone. Camila Rios, the cleaning lady who has slowly become Mia's source of comfort, walks beside. Then I will be here to help you up. Falling does not mean failing. It means learning. The words are simple, but they land deep. Adrian stands nearby, arms crossed, watching the exchange with a face that tries to hide his doubt and wonder. The bicycle rolls onto the path. Camila holds the back of the seat while Mia pushes the pedals. The wheels turn uncertainly. The little girl wobbles, her body tense, but Camila runs beside her, steadying without taking over. You are doing it, she says. Mia laughs, shaky but real. Her laughter is a sound Adrian has not heard in too long. His eyes soften. The voiceover points to this detail, highlighting the heartwarming truth. Courage grows louder when it is met with patience. Under the trees, families pass, children run, and kites fly. But the focus remains on this small girl and her bicycle. One lap around the path becomes 2. Mia's legs grow stronger. Look, Papa, she calls, her voice breaking through fear. Adrian steps closer. I see you, Mia, he answers. The voiceover lets the listener feel how those 4 words carry more weight than any speech. They are a bridge between a father and his daughter. Yet shadows remain. Later that afternoon, back at the mansion, the mood shifts. Nadine Cross, the stepmother, enters Adrian's study with a stack of papers. She misplaced these, Nadine claims, pointing to Camila. Important contracts, nearly ruined. Her tone is urgent, dripping with accusation. Adrian frowns. Suspicion flickers again, just as it did with the broken vase before. The voiceover stresses the tension. Lies are sharp tools when wielded against trust. But this time, there is evidence. Mia runs into the study with her notebook. Inside, in simple pencil drawings, is the truth. One page shows Camila helping her on the bicycle. Another shows the study table, where the papers had been moved earlier. The child's innocent record becomes a quiet testimony. Adrian studies the sketches. They match the times and places. Slowly, he begins to see through the shadows cast by lies. Children draw what they feel. Camila says softly, Mia only showed what was real. Adrian looks at her, then at his daughter. Something in him shifts again. The voiceover underlines the moment. Truth is not always loud. Sometimes it is drawn in shaky lines by a brave little heart. The evening returns them to the garden. Mia pedals again, this time with more confidence. Camila jogs beside her, laughing gently. Adrian watches, his doubt thinning. The cook Blanca peeks from the kitchen window, her face bright with quiet pride. The mansion feels less cold, warmed by small victories. Even Jonas, the security guard, nods in approval as he passes by. The voiceover builds the closing theme of this part. The park gave a child freedom. The bicycle gave her courage, and her brave little heart gave everyone else a reason to hope. Lies may rise inside the mansion, but truth shines in the open air, carried by a child who dares to try again and again. As night falls, Adrian stands at Mia's door, watching her sleep with her teddy under one arm and her notebook on the nightstand. He remembers the sound of her laughter in the park. He remembers how she called to him, "Look, Papa." He whispers, "I will look, I promise." Though the words are quiet, they mark a turning point. The voiceover ends part 3 with clarity and CEO-rich narration. This inspiring real-life story shows a child's courage, a maid's patience, a father's awakening, and a stepmother's schemes. It is a heartwarming story about family, truth, and trust, built not in wealth, but in simple acts like riding a bicycle. The journey continues, carried by a brave little heart. The night is calm, and the garden of the Hale mansion glows with soft lantern light. Trees whisper with the evening breeze, and the fountain's rhythm sets a gentle tone. The voiceover begins, drawing the listener into the final chapter of this story. The house that once held shadows now holds a moment of truth. Camila Rios, the cleaning lady whose courage has changed the rhythm of this family, stands quietly by the table where paper lanterns wait. Earlier that morning, Camila had carried her small phone in her apron pocket. She paused by the kitchen doorway and pressed record. The voice captured Nadine Cross, speaking sharply on a call. Her words were cold, selfish, and full of plans to use Adrian Hale's fortune for her own gain. "His child is nothing but a burden," Nadine said. "Once she is out of the way, everything will be mine." The recording was clear. It was undeniable. The voiceover emphasizes, truth sometimes hides in silence, but when revealed, it cannot be ignored. Adrian listened to the recording in his study. His face grew pale, then stern. He had doubted before. He had questioned Camila, even when her heart showed only honesty. Now the truth stood before him in sound and in shame. When he confronted Nadine, she did not deny it. Her words turned bitter. "You are a fool, Adrian," she said, "choosing a maid's loyalty over me." Adrian's reply was quiet but firm. "I am choosing what is real." Nadine left the house that evening, her heels striking against the stone one last time. The voiceover shifts to the garden, where the family begins to breathe freely. Camila lights the first lantern, its glow soft and warm. Mia holds a paper heart she has cut out with tiny scissors. She writes one word on it, family. Together, they place it inside the lantern. "Let's send it up," Camila whispers. Mia's eyes shine as she watches the lantern float higher, carrying her hope into the night sky. Adrian stands close, his gaze moving between his daughter and the woman who has shown more courage than anyone he has known. "You kept her safe," he says to Camila. "Not only her body, but her spirit." Camila lowers her head, modest, but her voice is steady. "It is what anyone should do." The voiceover highlights this truth. Greatness is not in riches or status, but in kindness, sacrifice, and promises kept. As the lanterns rise one by one, the garden glows brighter. Blanca the cook steps out with Jonas the guard. They pause to watch, their faces touched by the light. The mansion, once echoing with suspicion and coldness, now hums with warmth. The staff feels it, the father feels it, and most of all, the child feels it. Adrian reaches into his pocket. In his hand is not a grand jewel, but a simple ring, silver with a small stone. "Camilla," he says, his voice careful, "you have given us more than care. You have given us back our joy. I will not ask for marriage today, but I ask you for something greater. Will you stay? Will you walk with us? Not as worker, but as partner, as family." Camilla's eyes widen. The garden seems to hush. She looks at Mia, who nods quickly, her small hands clasped in hope. Camilla breathes deeply and answers, "Yes, I will stay." The ring is placed on her finger, not as a final ending, but as a promise of beginnings. The voiceover lingers on the detail. This is not a fairy tale wedding, but a real-life story of building trust, love, and family, step by step. Lanterns continue to float, carrying light into the dark. Mia laughs and points. "They look like stars," she says. Adrian lifts her into his arms, and for the first time in a long while, he feels the weight of his world lift. Camilla stands beside him, steady and present. The voiceover closes with strength and clarity. This inspiring real-life story has shown how a child's brave heart, a maid's quiet courage, and a father's awakening can change everything. It is a heartwarming story about family, truth, and love that grows in unexpected places. Lanterns rise over the garden, carrying the message into the night sky. Promises kept, hearts healed, and a future waiting to shine. And so, under the glow of lanterns drifting into the night sky, a family once broken found new strength, trust, and love. This was not the end, but the beginning of a future built on promises kept and hearts healed. Thank you for watching this inspiring, real-life story, and until next time, remember, true courage often shines in the quietest acts.